Okay, I'm going to give you a demonstration on glazing. I have my clouds put in there, but you can see they're just kind of flat. Flat meaning you don't see a lot of dimension to them. If you look in here, there's dark areas in the clouds. There's very light areas in the clouds. We're going to add those in by using glaze. This is my glaze right here. If I paint glaze on here, it's maybe going to look white to begin with, but literally it just dries perfectly clear. So this is binder of the paint with no pigment in it. So when I add a little bit of brown to that, in this case, that's going to give me a kind of a see-through glaze. And I can add some of that for the dark areas. I can add some of that brown in there. It doesn't have to just be brown. I might go back in and add some of that in with dark blue as well. I just am starting with some brown. I'm looking at these clouds and saying, okay, this is where I see the darkest areas at. And you will start to notice how much more realistic these clouds begin to become. So I'm just going to be looking on my picture, dabbing some on here and there. It's not any place that the cloud is all dark. It's constantly adding a little bit here and a little bit there. And then you're going to want to go, let's see, in the same way with some of the light areas. It's a little more solid through these areas here. And it's a little bit of a tough thing to show you guys because it's different literally for every single picture. Your clouds are not going to look like the clouds in my picture, obviously. So to be kind of the same thing will be happening on the water. I don't even know if you have water, but I'm going to be putting glaze for the dark areas of my water. I might use a little bit lighter or smaller brush, but there's dark areas going across my water like that. So as you can see, sorry, it's hard for you to see there. This is going to start to look a little bit like waves. I'll go in with the really, really light areas too, and there'll be a texture there. All right, let me show you quick how to add the lighter areas in. So this time, here's my glaze. There's no color to that. I'll add a little bit of white to it. And now I'm going to go in, and you see the light area on top of this cloud? Add some of that in. A little bit up in this area, kind of down here. I almost got too much white in that now, which it's really nothing hurt. I mean, sometimes you see that, but we're going to start to see the depth of these clouds change here. You start to, oh, you can't see all that. So frustrating. I'll work over here where you can see. A little bit more white in there. And we'll just continue to, this gets really light, to add this in until we get kind of the depth that we want for our clouds. Same thing on my water down here. Lots of white caps or whatever you want to call it, where the waves are breaking up here. I put that in with my glaze. Because we know it's blue underneath, really, but we see that white foam on top. So I put some of that in through there. And it'll start to look like water. So that'll give you an idea of how we're going to do that. I'd go back in with some blue next probably and go from there.